as I was saying, the narcissist always blame it on the other person. And that's just the way these narcissists work, you know? Like, it's in the drain. Drain was stuck. The sink wasn't draining. And then you got the snake thing and pulled out some hair. Well, I don't have any white hair. He has white hair. And I'm never around that sink brushing my hair. My hair would be very long strands of brown hair. Strawberry brown hair. I'm not gonna have any white hair. I'm always gonna have strawberry brown hair. See? Words are spells, constants of spells. We're not supposed to grow older. We're not supposed to have this white hair. We're supposed to stay looking young. It's just part of the matrix. That's how the matrix goes, right? We're not supposed to have any white hair. It's just because probably all the shampoos, conditioners, the food, and all that stuff that the inorganic ones put in our stuff. And then that's why people grow like that. We're not supposed to be like that. It's like different, like as it says, there's different dimensions, different 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 10, 8, 9, 10, and then etc. Where like they don't eat, they just eat anything, just somehow they just don't eat food, just energy. I don't understand like that. I said this before. And also, and then people are supposed to live in peace with animals, not eating animals. And then there's the other people. There is never just one way, okay? There's never one way for anything. There's always another way. There's never just one choice. There's always another way, or a different way, or a different choice, or this or that. There's never just one way. I will never eat meat again. I will never eat an animal. I will never put any meat in my mouth. I'll continue to avoid with milk because I want the baby cows to stay with the mamas. I've had enough of this matrix. These animals, all of them, each and every animal has a soul. They do understand. If it's a fish or any little tiniest creatures, they do understand. Right? The people got so programmed in this matrix, thinking meat's the only way for protein. No, it's not. Absolutely not. I have seen people who've been bodybuilders and everything like that, and they don't eat meat. They find protein in other ways and other food. Eat more healthier. That's what the program wants people to stay in. They want people to stay in that frequency and that meat. And I wouldn't trust any meat either. Because, it might be not animal meat that they may be serving in food places, and hot dogs. There's a lot of stuff popping up. People need to do their research, We just gotta continuously be aware of stuff. And remember that we create our own reality. We create our reality. Words are spells. I've been trying my best to not talk any negative, because even if it's somebody else, like got the person out front, and I'm saying stuff negative, I'm talking to myself. And I know I do that a lot, and I gotta fix that. We gotta fix that. We gotta work on it. It is just that a lot of us have had hard childhoods growing up, gone through a lot of abuse, a lot of narcissists, a lot of, like people just think you're an outsider. And it's because it's the program in the Matrix. All of it's constant matrix. You know, that's what they want. They want to take over. They want to take digital ID. They want people to only have digital ID to work these program jobs. We don't need digital ID. We do not want to get tracked and traced. No, thank you. No digital ID. You know, I don't want anything to do with their matrix. But, you know, at least we're constantly seeing brothers and sisters standing up, speaking up. Because these people are totally brainwashed. They're believing whatever that the program news, you know. As the mentor says, thank you, Infant Waterell, smart cat down the road. Tell lies to your vision. That's what television is. Tells lies to your visions. The energetic ones, they own all that stuff that's being programmed. They want to program whatever reality in your head because we create the reality. They don't, because they're, I think it's the one species, the Greys or something like that. I don't know which species it is, but they can't reproduce anymore because they have done everything and anything to their self. So they're trying, I don't know, but they're not going to win because, you know, we got the solar flash coming, the truth coming. See, there's another neighbor. You see this dog over here going along my fence? Where is it? Oh, it's going to the washroom. You don't want to see that. There it is. See? Right there. That dog right there. Well, can't even see it that good. Sorry. Well, kind of. Well, it's the one neighbor's dog. And that dog was a puppy, and we got to pet it, and then the guy got all weird. And then he told my son that, no, you can't pet him anymore or something like that, and I got really upset. And then I go in the backyard along there, and the dog comes chasing along the fence. And then the dog used to, because there's no gate, used to come out. And then me and my son are in our side of the driveway, and it comes out and it circles us. That's not good with animals. It shouldn't be doing that. And we told him it's not okay, and then he gets all whatever. You know what? I told people a long time ago, and people, because in this program world, they make people have to worry about other people and what they think. Alright? I myself do not care what other people think anymore. I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. If their opinion is negative, it's gonna go in one ear and out the other ear, because they're in their egos, or everybody who's gone through stuff are constantly lashing out to people. People care too much what other people think. That's why I do not care what they think. And I'm really a loud person sometimes. Yeah, I am loud. I'm loud. I just don't care what other people think. I don't care if there's a lot of people around. You know, don't bother me, but it bothers the narcissists a lot. They don't want the attention. They get really angry. Or they say, oh, you're being too loud. You know, and then you're like, well, you're gaslighting me, you know? Jeez. You know, as long as we just keep, like, speaking out and telling these people, you know. I just take things one day at a time. You know, one day at a time. Until I find another way to make abundance and another way to live somewhere else, because I absolutely do not want to live here anymore. Even though that I'm very blessed to find this place, I just can't stand the highway sound of these vehicles 24/7 outside. and all these narcissists around, especially the creepy guy out front who's constantly a creep. He needs to be locked up in the mental ward. That's where he belongs. Like, he's absolutely nuts and crazy. Like, he's come out yelling at me, like, tons of times, and calls me all kinds of names, and has said a whole bunch of things to me, and has done a lot of stuff to me while we're living here, and I'm just done, I'm done. As soon as I come in here, you guys see what he did. Like, this is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to put up with this stuff. The program police don't do nothing, and none of it does anything. None of the program landlords. Everything's all programmed. We shouldn't even be paying rent and paying money and stuff. And, like, we're the only species that have to pay money and stuff. We should be living freely. This is all part of the organic one's reality. They just want you in their own reality and tell you what to do and not to do and all this other stuff. And then try to make all these rules up, Like, I just pray that the lights and the truth and the EBS system comes out, because how long do you think we necessarily need to continue to deal with this stuff, especially when the inorganic ones are the cause for the weather changes, when they have weather machines, like 100%, like, well, majority of the percentage of is them, all them, and then I just keep remembering, like, I had this other video popped up, and this gentleman said that they put emblems, I don't know what they call them, like, the eggs, like the little babies, and the little embryo or whatever that is that they stimulate in the labs and stuff. Well, I don't know how to explain how to say it, but they bring those down underwater, and this guy said there's 10 different domes, right? And just like I think I've said something similar to people living underwater in domes. He said 10 different domes, and then the people have no idea about, like, what up Earth and stuff. And he got the commanders or something, a radio thing to connect to somebody, and they shared this. I definitely believe him. I definitely do, because that's what the inorganic ones do, right? There's, like, and in Antarctica and other thing else, there's tons of people living in underground and underwater and everywhere. They that's what they want. They put us as tests. We're not test people, okay? We're not slaves. We gotta break free in this bubble. We gotta continue to stand up against these negative ones. Thank you to all the brothers and sisters who are standing up for the children and going to those bad people's places, where those bad people that have done stuff to kids are out and living around neighborhoods, and they're protesting, and they're saying that they're living there, so everybody's aware that they're living there. That's what we have to do. We got to do it peacefully, but we got to continue to protest and keep our words, and then not give up. And even though that we are dealing with things similar every day, things are the same things from these programs, because they're just not going to change. Like, I know the partner's never going to change. There's nothing I can do about it. Except for, like, eventually moving on. I'm getting too much in that age and stuff, and too sore to start doing things. That's why I'm trying to find another way of doing stuff, like making fun of this and that. But it's just really hard for me because I'm like a hermit and I don't really like social and with people because I have bone irritation and I'm missing teeth from that. And then people really, really judge you, and we can definitely read people's thoughts and stuff sometimes. And sometimes it's just not, they just judge me on that, and I just don't want to be around people, and that's just why I don't put my face in that talking on the videos. So I'm not confident in myself. You know, a lot of us, they judge a lot of people, and they make fun of people, and they don't understand, and then they yell at them, and they treat them really bad. Just feels like school, right? That program school that they have the kids in the program school, and they want these kids to take these programs, score these tests, and then they want these kids to work and get volunteer hours to work in the program world. So that's all they want them. They just want them to get ready to work those 9-to-5 program jobs. They don't want them to succeed. We're not. They want us to stay like on lower version of vibrations. They want us thinking that we cannot be rich. We can be rich. We have abundance. That's why I'm grateful and thankful every day for a roof and food and clothes, right? The cat doesn't. I've been bringing the cat in indoors. Something he likes to get in everything. He's an old cat. And you got a little heater here for him. He's warming up right now because he was in the rain. Oops. He was in the rain. You were in the rain. Now you're nice and warm because I took the heater on. And I get you the heating blanket and the heating pad. I gotta get him in eventually. That's why I'm trying to bring him in and out of the house to get used to the going in there. And then I got the two girls that just go puffy and hissy. Yeah, they'll eventually go away. Yeah, it'll take a bump in the road until I get this cat used to being inside. Like, I don't think anybody's coming for him because he's old, and a lot of bad people like to just drop their animals off when they don't want them when they're this age, which is not right. At any age they have, you know, those people who just drop off, abandon, and hurt animals. Don't you ever hurt any animal. Anybody who kicks any animal, kick a dog, kick a cat, you should be in jail for life. Permanently stuck in jail for life. Shouldn't be abusing animals. It's not right. You know, I believe in karma, and it's your choice of what karma you receive, so that's up to them. You know, that's why I've been on the mind edge of just forgiving everybody. I forgive all the people that have done me wrong, because these guys are never going to apologize for what they've done, and never going to hear apology from them. I may hear apology from someone down the line, but not from a lot of them, you know. And I just realized that karma's real, and these people have done things. Their karma will come to them in a way of any other way that they get in, right? So that's why I continue to. I'm like finally at that stage where I just need to let go. Like let go, you know. Like I'm just gonna let life flow as it goes. But you know, my direction is to continue to clean up the house. And oh, the birds just flew away. No, one's still there. continue to clean up and get things organized and continue just doing what I'm doing, because this is just tests. Everything that's around us, who are with, are tests. It's just like these stories that all come up with these people who have children. These children at a certain age can remember their past lives. You know, they can remember that they had a different mom and this, and remember what happened before their passing. And then these people don't, and they keep each story saying that they chose to be with these people. They chose to be with their mom and that. Now they chose, and then they remember like a lot of their details of their passing, and then they find the information, and then they find it. Like this one boy was on a big boat that had like these big steam things, had wooden little boats for if there's an incident, and I guess it got hit by the back of a rocket and drowned. I think he passed away with the boat going down and stuff. But it's in 19 something, you know. It's all these wars, and then all these issues, and all these problems are all because the inorganic ones are the one that causes. They cause the problems, and then they solve the solution to make them look good. See, they're constantly doing that. That's why they're constantly telling these people about good things, and these people are making us look like we're bad, but we're not. This is what they want. They want constant conflict. Well, thank you, brothers, sisters. You know, this is going to be like a 3-part video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving beautiful messages. Thank you for viewing. I'm always grateful and thankful. I'm all about helping others. I am super awakened. I was gratitude to Infinite Waters, Real Smart Cat down the road, who has awoken me for the truth of the stuff, and then Ismael Perez, who continues to open me up to other truth about things and knowledge. And always remember, there is never just one way, okay? There's not one way. There's always other options for other people, because we all are not same with things. A lot of us eat meat, and a lot of us don't eat meat and will never eat meat. It's your choice what you want to eat. But I am so highly emotional and empath, and I can feel other people's feelings, and it doesn't matter where you are over around the world, you're watching this, I can feel your energies. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Guys, I love you so dearly. Have a beautiful, blissful day. Sprinkle some stardust, and bye for now.